Welcome back to my mental health and crime channel. My name is Hooded London. This is for entertainment purpose only. This is the case of the Idaho quadruple murders that took place on the 13th of November 2022. May the 4 victims rest in peace. Condolence to their families. Jack John Showalter, aka Hoodie Guy, was one of the last persons to see Kaylee and Maddie alive. He walked them from the corner club to the grub truck. So what did he see? What did he hear? He was clearly hearing Kaylee say to Maddie what was said to Adam. Jack John Showalter was ruled out as a suspect. But many people were ruled out too soon. That's my personal belief. He was standing and eyeing the girls in the grub truck. He walked with them, but I don't believe he was escorting them in a positive way. This young man was thrown out of his fraternity for nasty behavior, SA, and S harassments towards females. He would always be rude to females, and he was allegedly throwing dead animal in front of people's house. Trigger warning. We definitely need a trigger warning when we speak about John Showalter, because he loves to hunt. In 2015, he showed on his Facebook his hunting skills. We saw him tear the animal from the inside towards the outside. We have to talk about his behavior because that is very suspicious. In the picture of the Facebook, we saw him with 2 K-bar knives on the floor or on the ground of the field. You can say he uses it for hunting, but we at least have someone who has skills with K-bar knives and someone who's been taking picture with K-bar knives and with red liquid of animals all over him. Things were going rough for Showalter. He got kicked out of his fraternity for all these harassments. It was said allegedly the night that unfortunately the 4 victims passed away or were unlived. It was said that he was in the corner club, and we've seen a picture of that. And he got kicked out for harassing females. It was said it was Maddie and Kaylee. But yet again I've heard it's other girls. But we still have that label on him. When he got kicked out of the fraternity Delta Tau Delt, his parents rented him a flat 1 minute away from the girls. We saw the interaction between him and Maddie. Maddie told him, "You mister, F you." And that was loud and clear, which was shown on the news channels. She pointed her finger towards Joe Vito and towards especially Jack Showalter. What was his role that night? Was he plotting on the girls? He looked like he was sending text messages around with the guy in the black tracksuit. Showalter had so many things going wrong in his life. Did he take it upon himself, maybe to take it a step further? He just lives 1 minute away from them. He could have sneaked behind the trees and the bushes. Another thing that we shouldn't forget is Jack Showalter knows Bethany Funk and Dylan Mortensen, the two surviving roommates, from Boise, Idaho. They all went to the same high school. So what makes us believe that one or two of the surviving roommates weren't working with someone from the inside? I hate to put it out there, but that's the truth. 8 hours. Anything could have happened in 8 hours. They could have cleaned the place, allegedly. They could have staged the place, allegedly. Anything could have gone wrong. Why would you summon up friends because you thought one of your roommates was unconscious in a bloody scene? What would make you think as roommates that a friend is unconscious when you see a bloody scene? Because the police officers who walked in there said the smell of blood got them. Why would it take 8 hours? This is a trigger warning. You see how comfortable he was in hunting, and this was in 2015. Now, what do you think his hunting skills are like in 2022 when allegedly he could have done these crimes? Allegedly. Even Steve Gongives thought he was clear too soon. He allegedly drove to his family's cabin, that's his mother, or adopted motherhood. I'm not sure, but I think that's his mother. She's his mother no matter what. And he has a brother who's adopted from Kenya, from the missionary or something. And he goes to the same college. He was seen apparently playing around wearing mask that same night the quadruple murder happened, allegedly. This young man has skills of hunting. He was upset. He has antisocial personality disorder symptoms because he seems to be always harassing women. Even girls his age, women who have worked with him in Boise, said that one of them said that she had to slap him to move him out of her way. She said his language was so disgusting towards women. So why are we ignoring the facts that are in front of us? Hoodie guy did not buy any food at the grub truck. Why didn't he buy food? Why was he just stalking and following the girls around like a leech? I don't think he was trying to protect the girls. I think he was told to protect the girls for whatever reason, for whatever the motive may be, whether it's money, whether it's crime or passion, whether it's drugs, whatever it could be. Hoodie guy was sent to stalk the girls that night, which he does best, allegedly, stalking women. Look at how proud he looks of slaughtering an animal. This guy isn't scared of red liquid. And that's a fact, because we see it in front of us. He has access to K-bars, and he has a motive. He's been thrown out of the fraternity for harassing women. He was stalking the girls up to they left him without telling him. Hoodie guy has a pattern of harassments. He was with the girls in the corner club. What did they tell Adam And what did he hear that he could have told Adam himself or Jack D? We know that he and Bethany and Dylan went to the same high school. We saw the picture of Bethany sitting on his lap. So these people know each other. There's a connection. This is what one girl left on Facebook and all when this came out on Reddit. It was one of the behavior experts. Yeah, she put that up. Of their thoughts with their skills of what could have happened. I don't know if Kaylee is trying to tell us something in this picture. You can see she clearly takes a picture of hoodie guy and the people behind her. Is she trying to say, God forbid if something happens to me, investigate these people around? Because it's strange how they moved from the other side to this side, especially the guy in the white shirt. All these people had a surveillance and a tracking on these girls. It looked like something started from the corner club, but we wouldn't know because Kaylee and Maddie ordered a cab, a Uber that drove them at 10:15 to the corner club, and they were there up to 1:40, 1:44 is when they walked in to the grub truck. So what happened within those 4 hours? Was Maddie rude to someone? How did she get so intoxicated? What kind of a pub or corner club are they to be serving people when they're already intoxicated? In fact, how come nobody's spoken about that? This is a young 21-year-old girl that got badly intoxicated, and people were just waiting for them in the grub truck to continue whatever plot they had. The people in the grub truck and the people in the bandfield are somehow involved. All the movements that is happening between 2:52 to 3:17 in Banfield, the figures running and everything happening, a female yelling, "Stop it, stop," all those things are connected to these 2 girls' unlivings. But Xana and Ethan was, I hate to say, something was done to them between 2 to 2:30, I believe. Whether it was in Linda Lane, whether it was in Taylor Avenue, which I believe the girls let the dog out, like Kaylee's sister said, and somebody must have hit Murphy. Something must have happened there for the girls to come out searching for the dog, and somebody targeted them inside the house, dragged them back to the house. It's strange that many people said that they were gagged up in the beginning. When the police was asked, Chief Fry in the press conference, he hesitated, if you'll notice. Why didn't Hoodie Guy order food? Why did he have his pockets all the time inside? I know it is cold, but he was trying to dodge all the cameras. He jumped into a red Mustang, and we had a red Mustang that was crashed in St. Deacon's Road. We had the forensics team. We saw pictures of the forensic team inside the red Mustang, but yet the police debunked it and said that was rumors. It had nothing to do with the case. How come everything is being debunked? How come the timelines don't make sense? Brian Christopher Koberger, his car timeline must have pinged after 4 a.m. and at 3:25. But he didn't get off the car at 3:25. There was a car flashing, the head lights was flashing from Kings Road, 1122 Kings Road, in front of the victim's house at 3 a.m. That is where all the movements is going on in Taylor Avenue. The undercover cops, the 3 boys running away from the undercover cops. We don't know what they threw in the field. Saeed was watching concerning pictures. I pointed those things out so many times. But you can clearly see Kaylee's not just taking a picture of herself. She's taking a picture for the world to see. Kaylee is, may she rest in peace, Kaylee was shot. You could see the mobile phone device is high up. She's trying to take pictures of people who are taller than her. She's trying to tell us something. And apparently Kaylee used to watch true crime. She was following Gabby Petito's story and all. She tried to help an old woman that was apparently missing. So Kaylee has knowledge of such things. Her mother and her father said she was very observant. If somebody was falling and all, she would call her mother and father and say, I think somebody's following me. And then she said, no, thank God they went away. Somebody could have actually been stalking her. And guess what? It could have just been Jack Showalter who was the stalker. And I don't see any connection between Jack Showalter and Maddie. I've been observing very well. They don't like each other. I think if Jack Showalter liked any of the girls, it would have been Kaylee. All these people, Aiden, the guy with the long hair, the woman with the white jacket, they all are kind of like staged there. Everyone is up to something. Even Joe Vito, pretending that he doesn't know him. He knows him well. They're having lengthy conversations. I think Kaylee was trying to give us a message. And she was very busy on her phone. Could it be Jack D calling her? And Jack D's alibi doesn't make sense. People say BK's alibi doesn't make sense. BK could have really been driving around. He could have actually driven the girl's property because one of the surviving roommates called him. Or one of the roommates. Now I can't say one of the roommates knew him because the police said there's no connection. His defense attorney said there's no connection between the 4 victims and BK. I'm sure BK is going to say my evidence, DNA evidence was found there because I've been to that house twice. I knew one of the victims because they can't find that out. This case is going to be a long case. It's going to take maybe another year to solve, I believe. But I honestly don't believe it's BK who did it. The reason I don't believe is the timeline doesn't make sense. I'm not even thinking about what could have been in BK's head. People sit and analyze him. As a mental health counselor, I should have maybe analyzed BK more. But I'm not doing that because to start with, the timeline doesn't make sense. There's no connections there. No blood evidence of his was found there. So that doesn't make sense. And the timeline we were given in the beginning was totally different. We were told that they were unalived between 3 to 4 a.m. May they rest in peace. Ethan's mother said 2 a.m. is the most toughest time for her and her family. Why exactly 2 a.m.? The coroner said that they were pronounced dead after 2 a.m. Why did the mayor say it was a crime of passion? Even if it was a crime of passion, John Showalter is involved, I believe. He could have had a crime of passion easily. He could have just fallen in love and he was obsessed with one of these girls. Because let's not forget, he got kicked out of the fraternity for harassing women. So there's something with him and females. Typical anti-social personality disorder symptoms. The people who worked with him, the females who worked with him, said he was very aggressive. He loves hunting and playing with knives. Typical antisocial personality disorder behaviors. Very psychopathic. Allegedly. So was he following the girls because he wanted to escort them home safely? Or was he following them because he was part of the plan, the scheme that was going on? I believe the second one. He was part of whatever plan, whatever plot that was going on. Why didn't the FBI take these steps? Although they're too short, I don't believe they would have been used. Because I don't think that board is very strong enough even to take 2-3 guys running upstairs. There wasn't red liquid on top, because I've shown you many times different pictures of the crime scene in the beginning. Unless that was some powder the forensics team was dusting out of their brush or something like that. It wasn't. The FBI heard from social media about that ladder in the beginning, and they said that they would deal with it, but they never removed it, so I don't think it was part of any evidence. They must have taken their brush on it and taken out whatever pictures they needed. But remember the detectives looking up at those pipes, those water pipes or whatever they are. So I wonder if somebody climbed up to the third floor actually. But I don't think that's strong enough either. The police broadened the crime scene behind the house near Queens Road. So I wonder what happened there, if they found any forensics there.
Detailing the hours before their deaths. New tonight, Moscow police releasing new information on the mass murder of 4 University of Idaho students. Moscow police shared a new timeline for the night the students were attacked. Detectives now say the surviving roommates arrived home just after 1 a.m. 45 minutes later, victims Ethan Chapin and Xana Kernodle arrived at the home on Kings Road. And now, thanks to new digital evidence collected by investigators, we now know that Kaylee Gonzalez and Madison Mogan arrived separately at 1:56 a.m. Moscow police say community members have uploaded over 488 digital media submissions to help in the investigation. They're encouraging the public to continue sending them anything that might help. Police now say they've also collected 113 pieces of physical evidence. All of them have been sent to Idaho State Police's crime lab for processing. Moscow police also clarifying tonight there does not appear to be a connection between the murders of 4 U of I students and 2 other stabbings from across the Pacific Northwest. Those incidents include a 1999 double stabbing in Pullman and a 2021 double stabbing in Salem, Oregon. In the meantime, law enforcement still asking the public for any tips or clues that might lead to a break in the case for them. Their tip line is at 208-883-7180. Take a look at your screen right there. That number is there. You can also send an email to the address that is located at the bottom of your screen.
Police knew something that should make the public less worried. But some residents and neighbors near the crime scene were not comforted by the terms targeted and isolated.
At first, I thought that they actually had something going, so you think that makes sense, like, oh, it's targeted, and you wait to see, what they say, but now they've said nothing and that they know nothing. So how can you say it's targeted?
Then the local mayor went further, telling the New York Times it could have been, quote, a crime of passion, later clarifying that was just one possibility.
They don't want people to panic. And yet, unless you have the evidence that you are willing to share with the public and be transparent about how the investigation is going, these words are completely giving false confidence.
But police say they can't share their entire case for fear of compromising the investigation.
You can't just put that out into the public's eye. It would impede the investigation, and ultimately it might impede justice at the very end of this.
But with no suspect identified, many students packed up and left town.
There's no perp caught or anything, so it's definitely uneasy on campus right now.
By day 4, police recognized their assurances of public safety weren't resonating as residents fixated on the fact a killer was not caught. Police Chief James Fry went before the cameras.
We cannot say that there's no threat to the community.
Still calling the crime targeted, but pulling back on assurances there was no public threat and pledging to release more.
I probably should have been standing here a day or so ago, but I'm here now.
Between 2016 and 2021, there were no murders in Moscow. So when the quadruple homicide stunned this town, the 36-person police force was pressed into unprecedented action. With no full-time communication staff.
The messaging was